how are you?
I'm Bill. Nice to meet you, Ben.
I'm Louis.
Nice to meet you.
So you guys are in which grade?
We were all 8th grade.
Well, okay. So a bit about us. My name's Richard McCoy. I'm the Public Works Director and City Engineer for the City of Bronzeville. I've held that job for over 21 years. My training is originally from Australia, so I've got experience from over there and here. I'm a civil engineer and I have a PE license here in the state of Minnesota. My role as Public Works Director and City Engineer is to plan, design and implement infrastructure projects within our city. Reconstructions for roads, for pipe work, for parks, for buildings, all that sort of stuff. And then to maintain that. So the production and delivery of water, drinking water for our citizens, ploughing of the roads, mowing of the parks, preparing ball fields, and looking after all the buildings that the city owns. And so it's a fun job. I've been doing Future Cities now for 18 years. I started off as a mentor and then moved to become a judge.
Cool.
Good morning, I'm Bill Raker. I'm a retired executive from the financial services industry here in the community of Eaton. This is my second year to judge in this competition. Prior to working in financial services, I was a teacher in high school for a number of years, so I have some familiarity with the environment in which you study and do your work. So happy to have the opportunity to work with you this morning. So we'd like to maybe take a look at your model and ask a few questions, but you don't have to get into any part of the presentation.
Yeah, of course, you guys can come up and look at the model. So we have two moving parts. We have our ground effect vehicle, and then we have our spin launch.
Ooh, I've heard about these.
Yep.
What does that do?
So it's a, we'll explain it more in the presentation. But
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine.
okay.
You're doing that testing out in Nevada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the hexagonal microgrids we will cover in the presentation, but I want to say now, this is a really important part of our city. It's in a hexagonal microgrid because if one goes down, instead of 4, there are 6 surrounding microgrids that can, microblocks that can support the one that has shut down or powers off. And they can all supply and help it until it's back online. And just to make it clear, these are not like big walls in the city, these are just separate. These are scales.
Sure.
Also, these are both, so we're on an island, or not an island, a peninsula. This is on a separate island. This is our industrial zone because we want it away from our citizens. And then these two are on the same island. So this is our maglev and that's our micro blocks. And these are the things that you see flying around the place. These are our eVTOLs, which is one of our main forms of transportation. Here are the landing pads. These are much more consistent throughout the city. And it's kind of hard to see here, but there are designated flight paths for them. We just wanted to represent all of the eVTOLs.
In each hexagon is self-sufficient, which means that it can power its own hexagon, and when one of these hexagons goes down, it can power that one too.
Sure.
And they all have their own infrastructure part of the hexagon. You can see they're kind of cut up into triangles here. So you can say one part would be a vertical farm, one part would be, so the infrastructure would be vertical farm, and then commercial, so grocery store, department store, and everything that you need is within one micro block. So much like Minneapolis, where within every zone there's a park within 2 miles from every single house. No matter where you live, you're always going to have a park 2 miles from you. And the same approach here where everything that you need is within the one micro block. And then over here is our maglev train, and then here's our station. And these are our vertical farms. They're enclosed, and they use electrical heating along with LED lighting to grow food. And then, yeah, we'll cover this in the presentation. That's our adaptation, and then over here is our mitigation. And then here, these vertical farms, that's what supply a lot of the food, but most of the food really comes from the community gardens.
I'm anxious to hear all about it.
Yeah. So you ground effects,
So, yes.
oh, I see, it's the spinny thing.
Yeah.
The blade, I got you.
Other members of your team here as
Yeah.
well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Wells.
Wells.
I'm Landis.
I'm Parker.
And what grades are you all in?
We're all in
We're
eighth.
all in it.
All in the eighth
Yeah.
grade, okay. Very good. I'm curious.
Yeah, this
Tell us all about it.
Extremely interesting.
What's taking these people so long?
Sorry, I'm late.
Welcome to Taone Kokoru. I'll be your tour guide today. As we explore the city, you'll notice that it has a rich history and culture, with Maori influences evident in the many local landmarks and traditions. We will stop by some of the many local markets and artisan shops, where you can purchase unique crafts and souvenirs.
And when it's time to eat, Taone Kokoru offers a diverse range of dining options, from traditional Maori cuisine to modern fusion dishes. And if you're interested in outdoor adventure, Taone Kokoru is the perfect place for you. The city's surrounded with lush forests and rolling hills, providing endless opportunities for hiking, mountain biking, and other outdoor activities. My name is Lewis, and I'm the other better tour guide.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. My name is Dylan, and I'm very excited to see what the city has to offer. My first question would be, what does education look like here?
Education in Taone Kokoru is based on hands-on learning and interactive research.
And to promote healthy sleep habits and physical activity, students have later start times. Studies have shown that this does increase academic achievement.
As a mechanical engineering student, I'm very interested in hearing about what climate change adaptation and mitigation strategies you guys use.
Taone Kokoru's adaptation strategy is our geosynchronous solar reflector, which focuses solar energy on a small solar panel before sending the energy down to our city with microwave radiation. This system is launched using a completely clean launch system with our spin launch, and the spin launch is paired with a Hydrolux rotating detonation engine.
And the mitigation is these recycling facilities. These facilities implement and utilize flash joule technology to refine materials from waste products. One of the materials that we refine is bauxite, a waste product resulting from aluminum manufacturing.
Well, I'm thinking of moving here, and I heard that you guys use a system called Spin Launch to launch the GSR into space.
Yes, we actually have some of our finest engineers managing, repairing, and operating the spin launch, which uses powerful electric motors while in a vacuum environment to spin up the payload before releasing it. And on the topic of jobs, we also have a system called JobTech, which matches jobs with unemployed citizens.
It's great to hear about people getting back on their feet and supporting themselves. Anyways, walking around here, I noticed that your streets are in a different pattern than I'm used to.
Yes, although rather unconventional, Taone Kokoru has hexagonal microblocks. This allows for energy and water line efficiency and also lowers road costs. Ultimately, this decreases our carbon footprint.
That's interesting. So in my classes, I heard that you guys had a revolutionary new form of travel implemented.
Yes, Taone Kokoru uses eVTOL as one of our 3 primary forms of transportation. They use graphene batteries to improve range and efficiency. eVTOL stands for Electric Vertical Takeoff and Landing, which means runways are completely obsolete.
Yeah, I actually designed those.
What? No, you didn't.
You can't prove that?
What are the other forms of transportation?
Taone Kokoru has 2 other primary forms of transportation, our underground maglev train, along with our electric ground effect vehicles. Ground effect vehicles are vehicles that fly low to the ground to improve lift and efficiency.
So there are countless job opportunities related to engineering in Taone Kokoru, I presume.
Yes, our primary jobs are electrical, mechanical, and chemical engineers, but we also have many industries surrounding aeronautical, aerospace, agricultural, aquatic, and civil, just to name a few. Personally, I've worked in all those fields.
Really?
I don't think you did.
I did, just not all at once.
So a bit ago, I heard you guys talking about using graphene batteries to power your eVTOLs. I've actually studied the capabilities of graphene back in my school.
Yes, graphene is probably one of the most important materials in our city. It's lightweight, thermally and electrically conductive, and it's 200 times stronger than steel by weight. We produce graphene with the flash joule process.
I've heard of that. Isn't that used to convert carbon-rich materials into graphene?
Yes, it is, and I invented it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Why don't you tell me more about it then?
Well, it uses a concentrated high amount of voltage to separate carbon from other molecules. And the graphene itself It's made of carbon. Graphene itself is made of carbon and it's bonded together in a hexagonal structure.
Did not expect you to get all that right, but what are some uses of it?
Medical usage. It's used in x-ray equipment, gene therapy, medicine delivery, and surgical instruments.
I've seen that your city created a biosensor that is the size of a bottle cap and that is capable of detecting cancer. It's really impressive.
Yeah, I also invented that.
Anyways, this city seems to have a lot of healthy and rich food. Are all the ingredients grown here?
Yes, our primary source of food comes from our vertical farms designed by our electrical, agricultural, and chemical engineers. These farms are enclosed and use LED lighting along with electrical heating powered by solar panels.
I didn't realize that the farms were solar powered.
Yeah, our engineers concluded that it was the most efficient and environmentally friendly way to power the farms.
Speaking of the environment, the farms originally used desalinated water, but the engineers, me, decided that it was much more efficient to harvest rainwater. This led to the development of the tilapia aquaponics system.
Well, that makes sense. You use the aquaponics system because it provides water and the plants purify and filter the rainwater before it returns to the fish.
Yeah, I know it's smart. I
Okay,
designed.
there's really no way you designed all this stuff. You can hardly even say what graphene was.
I was just nervous. And besides, I actually worked in engineering fields. You're just a tour guide.
I helped design the layout of the city.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
excuse me?
what?
Where's the nearest bathroom?
It's down the street to your left. And unlike most other cities, Taone Kokoru provides completely free public restrooms. Just another reason to move to our beautiful city.
Very good.
Very clever.
Thank you.
Can I start with the question about the scenario that you presented here with the tour guides and the visitor was really well done, but how did you decide who would play which roles since they were kind of interesting?
Yeah, so we just picked out roles. We made a script and picked out roles, and we kind of developed the characters as we went on. The original idea wasn't for me to be, the guy who
Smart
invented
and
everything, egotistical genius, and him being, the tour guide who is trying to get me, And so we kind of developed those parts as we went along, and yeah, we just decided at the beginning who we felt like we wanted to be.
Well, it's entertaining as well as informative.
Thank you.
So see on the front of your model there, you got a little placard that says engineering design process. Do you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so one example of that in our city was with the spin launch. In real life, they have to develop a rocket, and we did too. So basically, you have to really do a bunch of an R&D tree, kind of, where you design and re-implement things and redesign over time before you finally get a product.
Okay. So where did you guys see the stuff about spin launch?
Well, I saw it, like you said, that launch test.
Yeah. They had a story on TV on BBC America on a show called Click, which is all about technological improvements and stuff, and they had a whole session on that, and I was just blown away by that concept.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So did you invent some words or terms to describe some of these things in your future city?
So the tilapia aquaponics system, we kind of invented that system of rainwater purifying and plants purifying before it returns to the fish. That was one of the things that we definitely
So
came up with.
that's an example of something that you did not borrow from somewhere else, but made it up yourself.
Well, aquaponics is already a thing,
Well,
but we
that,
just,
yeah, that.
Yes.
yeah.
But our system, the tilapia aquaponics, is our invention.
And with the hydrophilic rotating detonation engine, that's just like a fancy word for saying hydrogen and oxygen in the engine, and it's cryogenic, so it's chilled. And a rotating detonation engine is extremely efficient. It uses a detonation instead of a deflagration, like most rocket engines, and it's a spinning explosion.
An
essentially.
explosion more than a slow burn.
Yeah. And hydrogen and oxygen burn to make water, so it's completely.
Was it the mineral that the graphene came from? Or was,
Oh.
Yeah.
What was I?
what do you harvest to get the graphene?
So the graphene is, we use the flash fuel process in our recycling factories. We use the flash fuel process to what's the word for it? Refined materials from waste products. So some of the waste, plastic, there's a lot of carbon in it. So we refine the carbon from the plastic and to make.
But you had some kind of ore, you had a name for it.
Yeah, bozite.
What
Bozite.
was it?
Ozone.
Okay, so it's a waste material from aluminum manufacturing. So what we can do with bozite is with the flash dual process, you can refine it to a thing where you can make a slurry, and then you can extract rare earth elements from it.
Is this real or is this city of the future?
That's real.
I don't know both.
And we made it much more common here, playing more of a future card. It's 100 years in the future. Humans may figure out how to use it more commonly.
Yeah, because there's already concepts and use cases for graphene at Rice University.
Yeah.
That's where they actually made some high quality graphene.
The density of your city looks quite high. What's the population?
150,000.
Yes.
Our population is 150,000 with 1,000 people per microblock.
About 1,000 to 2,000 people per microblock. And as you can see here, this is just one block of the city, but it doesn't stretch back and go deeper into the island and the bay that it's on. It stretches along the entire peninsula. So this whole city is on the water.
So where on the globe of Earth is this located?
It's in New Zealand, Auckland.
North of Auckland.
Huh?
North of Auckland?
No, it's on the Coromandel Peninsula. That's in the ocean. Yeah, that.
I think it is.
Yeah.
It goes up to Waitangi. Is it the far north end of it?
Yes.
Why New Zealand?
So Linus, Ben, and me, we were in the competition last year, and we had our city in Australia. Yeah, we had it in Australia on an archipelago.
Yeah, the Sunday Island Archipelago in Western Australia.
And the idea for that was each island on that archipelago would have a zone respective to it. So there would be one island that would be the industrial, and that would most likely be the island farther away from everything, the more distant island, and we would have a commercial residential zone, a strictly commercial, and maybe a strictly residential. But we decided to go with these hexagons instead on the one large bay.